What is the worst, most iconic trilogy in movie history? Yeah,
It's
that's
a confusing title.
it's a confusing
The
question.
the worst, most iconic.
Everyone's got their opinions about what's iconic trilogies out there, and there's plenty of videos out there that says what's the most iconic. So we had to figure out what's the worst iconic trilogy.
We've gathered some iconic trilogies,
That's
and
right.
we're gonna rank them.
We kind of took our list and said we ranked those and got the worst ones of the best list, if that makes sense.
So we had, I think, like 15 different trilogies, and the ones that we will not be ranking today because we already consider them higher than the lower ones. So those are the ones that we ranked higher than these others, and we're going to go through them one at a time. So the rules are you give each of these a 5 out of 10, all right? Dedicated fan base, story complexity and character likability, intellectual property longevity, and a literature score. And then at the end, we'll give bonus points away. So we're going to start with the first one, the Matrix trilogy. All right. So for a dedicated fan base, 1 out of 10, what are we seeing?
For the fan base of the Matrix, I would say it's like an 8 or 9.
Yeah, the fan base for the Matrix is pretty high.
All right, so we're gonna call that we'll call
like that one
8, maybe. How about
yeah,
that?
they definitely are taking that, that blue pill.
I think it's the red pill.
The red pill.
Story complexity and character likability. I would say story complexity, they get a pretty high score for that.
It's complex. It's complex. It's pretty meta.
So I'm gonna say, I'm just right off the bat saying that the Matrix is not very low on this worst list.
Probably not. All right, so IP longevity. It's remained relatively popular with
but not
certain
relatively relevant amongst, I would say, general audiences.
So what do you say for longevity? You want to give it a 7?
I would give 7 or a 6.
Joshua, split the difference.
5.
All right, we're giving it a 6. All right, so last one, literature score for Matrix. Is there any literature that you guys are aware of or have consumed around Matrix, whether it's comics, whether it's books over lore for the Matrix after the films came out?
No.
All right. So we're going to give...
I'm sure there's some canon and some fandoms out there, but I'm not aware of them.
All right. Either. So we're going to give that a 2, I guess, for literature score.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and if you guys in the comments know about the Matrix lore, let us know.
And if there's good literature behind it.
Does the fan pick of, Neo and their love story, does that count of when I was reading
fanfic?
No, fan fiction do not. That doesn't get fan fiction does not count as literature as far as getting a good literature score. The Terminator Trilogy. Dedicated fan base?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say
it's really high. The numbers have decreased in recent years because of all the terrible Terminator movies they've made recently.
Right.
But it's still pretty high.
All right.
People love the Terminator.
So what do you think it's sitting at? An 8?
Probably an
9.
8.
Yeah.
All right. So let's call it an 8. So how about story complexity and character likability?
The story's not super complex. I think the complexity comes from the time travel.
Yeah, but the character likability, maybe.
Character likability. People like Sarah Connor. They like the Terminator. They like kind of the central characters that are in the primary time loop.
So what are we figuring it at? 7?
Yeah, that's what I would say, like a 7.
All right, 7. Now, how about IP longevity?
I mean, they're still making movies. I think people still like the original trilogy, not the third one quite as much.
Right.
It's the issue we ran into with Aliens. It's it's like the first one, the second one, and then for some reason the third one didn't hit as hard. And I'm going to attribute this to the James Cameron effect, where James Cameron would come in, he'd film the second movie. I believe he filmed T2.
Wait,
and Aliens.
Cameron did a Terminator?
Yeah,
You
he
didn't
did
know
T2.
this?
He
He
did
did the
I did
second one.
Terminator
not
2.
know this.
He also did Aliens.
Why did I not know
he did
this?
the second Alien movie.
Yeah.
And then the third one flounders without those directors.
All right. The longevity for this story, what are we calling it? A 6?
Yeah, give it a 6.
All right.
5.
And then literature score. Do you guys know of any literature around this story?
I mean, I know there's lots. I know there's comics.
There's comics counts. Comics counts. The quality, the volume of comics.
I'm pretty sure there's a good portion of comics, but I'm not 100%.
All right, let's put it right in the middle of the road at a 5 for literature score, since you know there's comics. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next one. Oddly enough, that you mentioned Cameron, because and Aliens, actually, because we're talking about Aliens next.
Yeah,
or Alien Trilogy, I guess you might say. All
so
right,
as a trilogy, it's terrible. As a standalone first movie, it's great.
Wrong. As the first and second movie, it's incredible.
We have quite a few to get to. We can't be just
visual and storytelling in the first 2 movies.
There's a reason we have a ranking system, because if Joshua's weird freaking opinions will just come into
start arguing.
Yeah, further but a little too much. Alien as a trilogy, where does it go with dedicated fan base? People are still talking about
People
Alien.
like Alien.
Yeah.
People love the like xenomorphs and the whole biology of aliens.
And we're getting multiple new Alien films, and so there's a fan base, very collective.
There is a fan base.
There's another Alien film coming out, I think, this year.
Oh yeah?
Or in production or something.
It. Well, that one doesn't count because he's not.
I know. I'm just saying, dedicated freaking fan base.
Yeah, people like the aliens.
So I would say probably about an 8. I would say.
Yeah.
All right.
7 or 8.
Story complexity and character likability.
Likability.
The character,
but
it's not super complex. But the story,
yes.
The first one I would say is more complex than the second, and my memory's foggy on the third. But the character likability.
Oh yeah.
People love Ripley. I love Ripley. People love Newt in the second one. People love Bishop. People love just good. These are good characters. The characters in the second are better, in my opinion. You get more attached to kind of like the soldiers.
Yeah.
How about an 8 for that one?
Yeah, it's good. People like those characters.
I would say even could touch 9.
Oh, we'll call it 8.
And if you consider like the alien a character.
All right. Yeah, that's true. I do consider the alien a character, actually, because the iconic look of it has lasted. Longevity for this story? Just throw out a number. We got 6, a few to get through.
5.
Yeah, 5. It's kind of the same thing for every movie.
These iconic trilogies, it's hard to say because people still watch the classic ones, and all the new stuff is kind of trash, but people still love the classic ones so much.
Is there any literature for aliens that we know of?
There is a ton. There's comic books, there's short films, there's the other movies where the alien appears, such as Prometheus, Alien versus Predator, Alien versus Predator 2. There's a lot of lots of stuff.
Maybe a 7.
Yeah, lots of lore about the alien.
All right, we'll call it a 7. All right, we're gonna move on to the next big one, and that is Back to the Future. All right.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so dedicated fan base. How strong are the fans for Back to the Future? Throw out a number.
They're strong.
They're strong. I'm gonna say
9.
a 6.
No.
I can't say that it's huge because there's only 3 movies and nothing else off of that intellectual property.
Okay, maybe. Let's say 7. Let's at least give it a 7.
Okay, yeah, 7.
Just to be generous, we'll give it a 7. All right.
Absolutely.
Story complexity, character likability. Are we vibing with Marty McVibe?
Oh, character.
Did you say Marty McVibe?
Yes.
How many movies or references were made in other movies because of this? Like the DeLorean?
Yeah.
You call the DeLorean a character.
DeLorean's a character.
Itself.
Look,
Sure.
like character likability is high on this one.
Yes.
All right, let's put it at
I
a
think
9.
that's the reason to continue watching those movies through all the way through the series, is because the relationship between Marty and
Oh yeah.
Doc Brown is really good.
All right, we'll call it a 9. And then we got the longevity for this. It's lasted pretty strong since the last film came out. People still talking about it. I don't think people are watching it all the time, but I think people talk about it. It shows up enough in cinema.
I'd say it's it's iconic, definitely. But
yeah, all of these are. That's why they're on the list.
The longevity for it, I think it sort of ends at the third movie, and you just watch the series when you watch the series.
I would agree and disagree at the same time. I'll let you say it's a 6.
I mean, put it into this perspective. Are people looking for another Back to the Future?
No, but they are looking for another season of Rick and Morty, and you can't deny that Rick and Morty is a spin-off version of this movie. So, character development because of Rick and Morty is way higher.
Well, Rick and Morty is now its own IP with its own stories and characters.
I will let you put it as like a 6 or 7 because I agree you can't do much more after this.
Thank you for letting us do that.
Yes, I'm allowing you to.
Literature score for Back to the Future. We got 3 more after this, so let's move along.
I'm not sure. I don't.
Put it on 4.
Only Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
screenplays. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. A 4, I put it at a 3. I think 4 is generous.
But you got to give it a little bit.
Look, I'm sure that there is a ton of literature for all of these, but we're not getting into like niche. No. We're not getting down into niche fan stuff here, guys.
Yeah, and just for people wondering, if there's a novel that this is based on, it's a high literature score. That's the point of it. You know, it stood the test of time, not only in screen but in pages.
And of course, as always, if there is literature on this, tell us in the comments because I'm interested in what it is.
Dedicated fan base for the XMen Trilogy, the live action XMen Trilogy.
It's X-Men, dude.
Its fan base is high.
It's high. People love the X-Men.
All right. Let's call it a 9. Let's call it a 9. All right.
Fan base score goes up because for Halle Berry.
All right. Story complexity, character likability. 9 with Wolverine, I think.
Wolverine and Halle Berry.
Hugh Jack.
And Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Dude, there's so many good actors.
All right. Longevity. We're still seeing Wolverine and stuff.
We're still seeing.
Yeah.
We've seen
he's showing up this year.
90s.
Yeah.
We've seen Hugh Jackman since the 90s.
I still love this trilogy. I think it's hokey in some places, and I think the third one kind of loses you, but I still love X-Men.
And we saw Patrick Stewart in the most recent Multiverse of Madness, right?
Yeah. People got psyched for that, dude.
How about we call that a 7, maybe, for longevity?
Yeah.
And then obviously high literature score, it's based on comics. So I'm going to give this literature score a solid 8, I think.
Oh, yeah, because there's so much X-Men stuff.
Last 2, Indiana Jones Trilogy. All right?
Yeah.
Dedicated fan base.
It's high, I think.
You think it's high?
For the original trilogy?
People love Indiana Jones. I mean, the people that like
they
Indiana
love it because
Jones,
it's a classic. I wouldn't say that they have a super hardcore fan base.
I don't know. I think people really like Indiana Jones.
All right, let's give it a number, please.
You think it's 6? Like 6? You think it's 6? I'm thinking 8, so split the diff, maybe?
7. All right. Story complexity, character likability, 10. I think Indiana Jones as a character, 10.
But he's not very complex.
The story is named after the characters.
Yeah,
10.
I'd say 10 too. Indiana Jones the name. You could say the name and basically everybody
Jones.
You know, people like him, people like Short Round, people like his dad.
Yeah,
I mean, people like what's the name of Gimli's character?
Yeah.
You know who you're talking about.
Gimli.
Yeah.
Indiana
Jones. You know that guy.
Give him hell, Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. What's his name?
I don't remember his name. Sorry.
She's,
IP longevity.
Apparently, he's not very iconic. Then
iconic. IP longevity. Why did it have to be snakes? Let's go with 7. How about that?
It's 7 for snakes.
7.
7 for snakes.
All right, and literature score. You guys know of any literature?
I don't know. I don't know if there's books or comics.
All right, let's call it a 4.
Yeah,
5.
Sure.
4 or 5. 5.
I mean, I can look it up.
I think there is I could be wrong about this, but I think there is maybe a book that's like Young Indiana Jones.
There's a lot of Indiana Jones books.
All right, now you're doing Google research in the middle of this. All right. Let's put it at a 6 then. Let's just bump it up 1 point.
I just wanted to be fair for Indiana Jones. I feel like it's one of those things that would have a lot of books.
All right. We're ending on a good one, and then we'll do bonus points, and we'll finish this off. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man Trilogy.
The fans are high with this one.
Dedicated fan base.
I'm gonna
7.
say,
oh man,
9.
It's high. I
8.
mean,
I
just watched all 3 of these the other day.
9.
Awesome. So good.
9. 9.
So good.
9
8 or 9.
9.
9. All right.
9.
Story, complexity, character likability. Freaking
not
MJ,
complex.
a real redhead. We haven't seen a redheaded MJ
complex.
since this.
I wouldn't say it's super
true.
complex, but I think character likability is really high. You know,
especially when he does
Totally,
ugly
like,
cry.
6.
yeah. Toby, Peter Parker, Harry Osborn, MJ.
Oh yeah.
Just even in the first movie, just the Green Goblin, incredible.
All right. What about a 7 or an 8? What are we
Doc
putting it at?
Ock, incredible. I even enjoyed Sandman.
All right, we're putting it at an 8 then. All right.
Just keep throwing it in there.
All right. IP longevity.
It's Spider-Man, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be around forever.
Yeah, I think people are still going to be watching these for a long time because they still, honestly, the graphics still kind of hold up in these movies.
So what?
Still look cool.
A 9?
Spider-Man.
8?
Give it an 8.
8. Yeah.
All right, and then literature score. This is based on a comic, so it's pretty high. And I think
9.
there's a lot of Spider-Man comics, right?
It's
9.
Marvel's best-selling IP.
All right, 10 out of 10 for literature score. All right, we're gonna do a very quick bonus point round. You can only give these bonus points to one.
Okay.
Of these titles. Each one is equal to 2 extra points. All right.
Ooh.
And some of these are pretty close to each other. So these 2 points will make a breaker. We got 4 bonus points. Here we go. Thrilling. Out of Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Indiana Jones, X-Men, Back to the Future,
Thrilling
Aliens,
Alien.
Terminator, Matrix.
Alien is thrilling.
All right. So Alien gets 3. Or not 3, 2 bonus points. All right. Now, comedic. Who's getting the bonus points for comedic? Matrix, Terminator, Alien, Back to the Future, X-Men, Indiana Jones, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? Maybe?
Wyatt's thinking Spider-Man because he just watched this.
I'm thinking Spider-Man also.
I'm only thinking I watched Spider-Man with a funny commentary, so it's
no,
funniness factor is going up for me.
Jameson, the paper guy, whatever his name,
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, fantastic. The comic,
give it to Spider.
Give it to Spider.
All right, give it to Spider-Man. Here we go. Romance. Who gets the maybe Back to the Future?
No, boo.
No.
The romance.
You don't like the
romance sucks.
All right, Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, dude, he's always with fine women.
Every movie.
Oh, that's more iconic than
his dad.
Tobey Maguire hanging upside down, giving MJ a rain kiss.
That's true.
That's
We're gonna give
iconic.
Spider-Man 2 sets of bonus points.
I'm
saying Spider-Man.
I give it to Indiana Jones.
I'm giving it to
But
Indiana
an
Jones as well.
upside down kiss, man.
Because the way Harrison Ford looks in that when that shirt's open.
I mean, but haven't you ever wanted to get an upside down kiss by?
All right, last one. Cinematic.
Upside down kiss by Spider-Man.
Cinematic is the last bonus points, and remember we have Matrix, Terminator, Alien, Back to the Future, X-Men, Indiana Jones, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man. In my opinion, for its time, I feel like Matrix really went out on a limb and really tested.
Scene where he's like going back and the
for cinematics.
For the scene, I just watched Matrix the other day too.
Yeah,
the scene where he like once he comes out at Agent Smith and he goes.
Mm-hmm.
And the world bends around him.
Right.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
We have our final score. And we also have our the worst iconic trilogy lined up. Here we go. So we're going to go down the list. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man with a total score of 37.
Okay.
Indiana Jones with a total score of 32.
Okay.
X-Men with a total score of 33.
Mm-hmm.
Alien with a total score of 31.
Mm-hmm.
Terminator with a total score of 26.
Mm.
The Matrix with a total score of 27.
Mm-hmm.
And Back to the Future with a total score of 25.
I'm sorry.
And it was neck and neck with Matrix right there at the end. So what is the worst iconic trilogy in history, film history? The Back to the Future trilogy.
Wait, hold on. This was Joe.
I didn't rig this.
Joe pushed.
I didn't rig this.
He pushed the Matrix. He's like, I really feel like it's Matrix.
How can you disagree with me? Can you disagree with me? If Matrix did not get the bonus points for cinematic, who does? And also, they would have been tied at the end there cinematic's not going to Back to the Future.
I don't like this.
You need to watch back. You need to watch Back to the Future with that, cinematic director's eye.
I have
really see what they're doing.
I have. I've done it many times. I have no vendetta against Back to the Future.
Yeah, you do.
I met the cast of Back to the Future.
You have.
I have.
Where's that?
I am upset, but it's not my decision. So let us know in the comments down below if you guys think that Back to the Future is the worst iconic trilogy of all time.
It still gets icon level. Icon status.
If you liked us ranking these trilogies, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and begrudgingly, we will see you next time.